Okay, our last problem is find center radius form of the circle having a diameter with endpoints. So first of all, if I was to try to draw this, my diameter has endpoints -1, 2, and 11, 7. So this time I haven't been provided a graph or a circle on a coordinate system so that I can actually count the place value. So I'm going to have to use calculations as I was speaking of before. Now if they ask me to find the center, I can take this endpoint and this endpoint and find the middle, which is the midpoint. So my center can be found using the midpoint formula, which if you recall the midpoint formula, that's going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Add the x values, divide by 2, add the y values. So let's do that. We're going to have -1 plus 11 divided by 2. And then for the y values, I'm going to have +2 plus 7 divided by 2. Let's go ahead and calculate this. That would give me 10 divided by 2. Over here, I would have 9 divided by 2. And we simplify that into our center, which I'm just going to come to the side and say my center is the ordered pair 5. I'm just going to leave that the fraction 9/2. Okay, so we calculated our center. Now we need a radius. Well, if I made a mistake on my midpoint, I wouldn't necessarily want to use that to find the radius, because then if I made a mistake there, I would just turn around and make another mistake on my radius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase all this, and I'm going to use the distance formula to find the diameter all the way across, and then divide it by 2, divide my answer by 2. So the distance formula, if you recall the distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so I'm going to plug in the points. So x2, I'm going to say 11 minus a -1 squared, 7 minus 2 squared. So then this minus a negative is just going to be plus. 11 plus 1 is 12 squared plus 5 squared. And I just keep on going. 12 squared is 144. 5 squared is 25. That gives me 169. The diameter all the way across is 13. So the radius is going to be half of that. So if I do radius, it's going to be half of the diameter, which is 13/2. So I have my center and I have my radius. Now I need to give center radius form. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. So I'm going to get 169/4. And the 169/4 came from square root of 13, square root of 2. So this is our center radius form. And that's how we calculate it if we don't have it on a coordinate plane, so we can count the radius and count the center. So we'll have to use midpoint to find our center, and we use the distance of the diameter and then take half of it to get our radius.